Hi, welcome to the Mule 4 tutorial. This is Akash. In this video, we'll understand about the course agenda and we'll see what things we're gonna cover inside this whole tutorial. So first is there is no prerequisite for this course. So Mule 3 knowledge is not required in order to understand this Mule 4 course. So if you know nothing about the Mule 3 or the any Java or any other language, that is okay. You can go through this course and you can learn MuleSoft. If you know basics of the XML and JSON, this is a bit advantage if you know basics of the JSON and XML. And this whole course will be divided into two parts basically, you can say. One is the theoretical part and second one is the practical. So almost like 30% you will can see a theoretical part inside this course and about 70% will be practical. And each practical will have a step-by-step process so that you will not miss anything while you are developing the project. Also, all the project after completion of the video, you can go through the resources and you can find all the projects which I have created while providing the lecture. And also after every assignment, you need to, I will give you one assignment, you need to complete that assignment. Now we'll move to the introduction. So I divided this into different sections. So first section is the introduction. Inside this, we are just going through the course agenda. And then we have the what is orchestration in Mule. We'll go through the orchestration part. And then we'll understand what is the life cycle of Mule API. And also we'll see what are the different components are available on Anypoint platform. Then we'll move to the Mule basics. Inside this Mule basic, we'll download the Anypoint Studio. We'll basically set up our local environment and then we'll walk through the Anypoint Studio. What are the functionalities provided by the Anypoint Studio? Then we'll go through and create one Mule first API and we'll see what is Mule message and we'll try to debug our Mule flow. Also in this section, we'll see about the Mule variable and how we can what is global configuration. Now move to the next section, we have the Java module and Mule runtime deployment. In this module, we'll have one Java module. Inside this, we'll call the Java class from our Mule flow and we'll execute that class. And then after executing, we'll try to download one standalone Mule runtime deployment. So for that, we'll download runtime environment and we'll install that into our local and we'll deploy our APIs. Also, we'll see how to install the runtime environment inside the Anypoint platform and how we can deploy our APIs. Now move to the next part. We'll have the REST and SOAP APIs. Inside this, we'll see how we can consume the RESTful API. Consume means how we can use the pre-provided RESTful APIs, and we'll see how to consume the SOAP APIs. Now we have the next module is the file module. In file module, we understand what is the use of file module, how we can implement the file module. Also, we'll see about the file watermarking, what is the use of watermarking in file module. And we'll traverse one file using the for each loop. And then we'll use the file module to write something on the file. Now in this section, database connector, we'll implement the database connector and we'll go through the YAML property externalization. That means we'll use the YAML file for all the property values and we'll use those properties in database connector. And also then we'll go through the database watermarking. That means how we can use the watermarking in database, and then we'll use secure property placeholder, or you can say secure property in Mule 4. The next section is the domain section. In this section, we'll see what is the basic use of domain project inside the Mule and how we can implement the domain project and what are the advantages of the domain project in Mule 4. Now we'll move to the next part, that is we have the Mule component. So we'll go through few components like the scatter gather and how to implement the scatter getter and what is the use of the scatter getter. Then we have the first successful. This also we have component we'll use and we'll implement that. Then we have until successful, and then we'll implement the JMS connector we'll create account on the ActiveMQ, and we'll set up the ActiveMQ on our local system, and we'll use JMS connector. Now, next section is the data view 2.0. So in this section, we'll first understand what basics of the data view 2.0. Then we'll move to some complex data view 2.0. Then we'll transform from XML and using the condition operators. Then we'll go through the Lambda function and custom functions. And there are predefined library provided by the data view 2.0. We'll try to use those libraries. In next section, we have the exception handling. First, we'll see what is the difference between Mule 3 and Mule 4 error handler messages, and we'll do the comparison. And then I divided by exception handling into 3 parts. In part 1, we'll go through some types of exception handling in Mule 4, and then we'll continue with the part 2 and part 3. Next is the Cloud Hub in detail. So we'll understand the concept of Cloud Hub provided by the MuleSoft, and also we'll deploy our APIs on Cloud Hub. Then we'll understand the API-led connectivity. So what is API-led connectivity? We'll go through what is the significance and how we can implement the API-led connectivity. The next section is the RAML design. In this section, I divided this section into 4 lectures, or you can say the 4 videos. So first part is some basics of the RAML I will cover, and then next, second, third, and fourth part I will cover the advanced topics in RAML design. And then we have the MUnit. So I divided this into 2 parts, MUnit part 1 and part 2. In this, basically, we'll try to test our flows in MUnit. Then we have the API management and policy implementation. So in this section, we'll try to understand the API management cloud, how we can basically manage the APIs. And we'll see types of policies we have in Mule 4. And also we'll see how we can implement the policies in Mule 4. And bi-weekly, I will try to add the bonus lectures so that something is coming new on Mule. We'll try to add those lectures in a bonus videos. And at last, the Mule 4 certification. So after completion of this course, so you can go through for the Mule 4 certification. The cost of the certification is $250. So you will get basically 2 attempts after purchasing this course. First attempt, if you're not able to clear, second attempt you will get free of cost. So the number of question you will get is 60, and the time permitted is 120 minutes, that is 2 hours. So in 2 hours you need to complete that 60 question, and the passing marks for this is 70%. If you want to register for this course, you can go to training.mulesoft.com/certification. You can find lots of certification like the architect certification, developer certification, associate certification. But for now, you need to go through the MuleSoft certification level 1, Mule 4 certification. Okay, so the preparation, you need to watch all those videos, practice on the tutorials, and complete all the assignments which I'm going to tell you in after each video. And also you can go through the training.mulesoft.com, and inside courses you have MuleSoft Fundamentals 4. Okay, so after completing all this, you will be able to clear the Mule 4 certification, but it's totally depend on your practice and how quickly you are grabbing this stuff. So that's it for this video. Hope you are excited to learn Mule 4. So see you in next video. Thank you.